right, 5 minutes after 9 o'clock. You know, every year, Robin, you see these people wearing, well, I don't know what they're wearing, but they have a red kettle.
Yes, they do.
I was going to try to pretend I was talking about Santa Claus. Never mind. I didn't plan my thing out very well.
Some dress up as Santa.
Some do dress up
they
as Santa
do.
Claus. The Salvation Army each year, I'm sure you're all familiar with, have volunteers out ringing bells, and they're standing beside a tripod, I think it's a tripod or a quad pod, and it's got a red kettle hanging there, and people will walk past and put dimes and pennies and dollars and Krugerrands and everything else that'll help out with their cause into those buckets. And here at the mall last year, we had a lady right here at the entrance to the food court. We had a lot of fun with her. Mm-hmm. She even joined us when we were singing our Christmas carols. Major George Patterson is in the studio. He is the Corps officer for the Salvation Army here in Ocala. And in addition to the Red Kettle Kickoff, which is Wednesday, November 12th, is that a week from?
Yes, a week from this Wednesday.
From this Wednesday. There's also a tree. Was it a wish tree? A wish tree? Angel tree. Good morning, Major George Patterson. Nice to see you again.
Good morning. It's nice to be here.
This is the time of year we see you.
Yeah, yes, it's one of the times, and this time I'm seeing a lot because we have to be out so much looking after those kettles, which are all around the city and outside the city in some cases.
Anybody who has a nonprofit longs to have a signature campaign, and I don't know what the story is behind the successful ones. What is your story? What is the story behind this? This is a signature campaign for the Salvation Army. Everybody knows it, right?
It's very interesting. It really began with an idea of a Salvation Army officer in San Francisco.
Oh, really?
The idea came from London, England, at the fish ports. He saw a big cauldron sitting at the fish markets, asking people to put coins in for the poor. He was trying in San Francisco to do a Christmas dinner for the poor, and he didn't have the funds. And he thought, I'll put one of these cauldrons out and see how much money I can get. And he got enough money to feed, I think, something like 1,800 meals on Christmas Day.
Oh, wow.
So that began there.
And when was that? What year?
1892,
okay.
I believe.
Okay.
I might be off a bit there. Okay. But from that point, and throughout the United States and Canada, and then really all over the developed world, now we have the Red Kettle campaign. Or in some cases, they call it the Christmas cheer.
Yeah. It is such a delightful thing to see. It's like I said off the air, when the lady who was here was no longer here after the campaign was over, it was kind of sad. When does the campaign end? Is it after Christmas or a week before?
The campaign ends about 24th noon hour.
Oh, okay.
December 24th.
So right before Christmas. Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
And then we pack it up for another year.
And so the Red Kettle doesn't come out except for the winter, huh?
With some exceptions. They have used it during flood times up north.
Oh, okay.
As a way to gather some donations, but it is particularly set for the Christmas season.
One of the most wonderful things about that is that people are such givers, even from the tiniest of children. They love putting their coins in there. They're a real inspiration.
We so appreciate the support of the community. And yes, parents talk to their children, and their children come with those coins and dollar bills and put it into the kettle. A lot of them learn the significance of it from their parents, who learned it from their parents, who've seen the Salvation Army in action in the Depression, during the World Wars, when the Salvation Army carried out a lot of services for the soldiers all over the world, really, even to the point of being on the front serving donuts and coffee in those days, which I pray never has to be the case again. But we've been everywhere.
Almost as common as the kettles was the Salvation Army band. Are they still doing that anywhere?
Yes, the bands are very popular during the Christmas season. Our band, we hope, will be able to come out again this year. It's a little smaller. than it has been in the past due to some people moving away and some other unfortunate circumstances. But they usually come to the mall a couple of times and share Christmas carols.
How big is the band?
It's about 7 or 8 here, but some of them are 35 or 40.
Really?
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Wow. And again, are they out only in the winter, or are they?
No, they're out all year round. They do programs and they share in what we call the open air service. It's not a common thing that we do now, but we used to have street services, and the band would come out and provide the music for that street service when the pastors, like myself, would be sharing the gospel.
You get a lot of organizations together to have the members of their organizations to volunteer, but you also encourage individuals that don't belong to an organization just to put their name in so they can volunteer.
Yeah, this is very important to mention. Any group, we would be glad to coordinate a day or a couple of days for them if they decided to, or even individuals that got a number of people together. But if they're just an individual, then we're glad to place them too. And the significance of this is that not all of our bell ringers are volunteers. Some of them get paid, and the people who do get paid can certainly use the money. But unfortunately, when we have to pay a ringer, that takes about $8 an hour away from what we can put back into the services.
Oh, I never knew that. Oh, wow.
And it's unfortunate, but we probably hire about 30 people a season at least to do this. And we have to hire them because the money is there if we go get it. But we'd rather have all that money in providing the services that we do. And it's significant, when you have 30 people for a season, it adds up. And so the more volunteers we have, the more money we're able to put directly back into the services which the Salvation Army does.
Yeah. Do you know, this past weekend I was looking at some Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers neighborhood videos. He was a minister, and in the course of his TV show, ministering by quoting the Bible never happened. But he ministered a different way. He ministered by basically teaching the lessons that the Bible teaches without referencing the Bible. I suppose that's the politically correct way to do a TV show when you're trying to do good, like he was trying to do. Do you guys follow any of that sort of thinking? I know yours is a ministry also. Obviously, the word salvation implies that it's about being saved. So does it ever come up where a bell ringer will be preaching, or anybody who's standing on the corner representing the Salvation Army might literally be preaching in the traditional sense?
We expect all of our people to represent the Salvation Army. As a matter of fact, they sign a form saying that they will represent the Salvation Army well, and that representation means that they recognize that the Salvation Army is a Christian organization with a social conscience. And we believe that as Salvation Army people, we've committed ourselves to the fact that Jesus was our example. And as we go out about, it's not a matter of using Scripture all the time, but implying what Scripture teaches us.
Yeah.
And Jesus said, if you've done it unto the least of these, my brethren, you've done it unto me. And that should be the way that we all live. It doesn't matter who we come in contact with.
Yeah.
We don't agree necessarily with lifestyles of the world and the way that some people live.
Sure.
But we do agree that every life is important. And while people might not believe in the religious aspect of the Salvation Army, I hope that they have seen demonstrated the principles of Christianity in the lives of all Salvation Army people. So the Bible is lived out
Beautifully said.
in our lives.
Beautifully said. Major George Patterson is here. That was wonderful. We have to take a little break. I got the weather and a few commercials, and we'll be right back. And just give us a minute. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Sunny to partly cloudy today and pleasant this afternoon. High 71 to 75. Partly cloudy skies tonight. Lows ranging from the 50s inland to about 64 on the coast. Tomorrow, sunshine, some clouds, and becoming warmer. There may be a shower in spots along the coast. The high tomorrow, 77 to 81. For Wednesday, more southern clouds. There can be a spotty morning shower along the coast. The high, 80 to 84. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Are you tired of not using your home's outdoor space for entertaining or relaxation because of all the bugs and leaves? Consider adding a beautiful screen room or glass enclosure. We are Superior Aluminum and Design, a family-owned and operated business with 20 years experience in the aluminum industry, and we are accredited by the Better Business Bureau. If you appreciate superior workmanship, call Superior Aluminum and Design at 817-8058 or visit us on the web at superiораluminumdesign.com.
Dad's service to our country is something we're all proud of. He made a difference and set a great example. Now it's our turn to honor the sacrifices he made for our family and his country. As Veterans Funeral Specialist, Hyers-Baxley Funeral Services helped us celebrate Dad's life, and they can help you too. Hyers-Baxley is here for you during your time of need or when planning for the future. For more information, call 352-484-0891 or visit hyers-baxley.com/choice.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
When the most respected company worldwide puts its name on a real estate sign, that's a sign you'll want to see. When a company known for straight talk enters real estate, that's a sign the market is changing. Confidence is back, and that's good to know. Introducing Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Look for our sign in a front yard near you.
Contact a local agent today. Visit bhhshometeamrealty.com.
An independently owned and operated franchisee of BHH Affiliate, LLC.
Hey, I'm Gary. And I'm Eric. Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara.
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
All right, 18 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Nice looking Monday morning, that's for sure. Sure got bright quickly this morning, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, it did.
Major George Patterson is in the studio with us right now. We're talking about the Salvation Army 2014 Red Kettle Kickoff event next Wednesday, November 12th. It'll be at noon at the Ocala Downtown Square. Any celebrity bell ringers this year? Is the mayor going to be ringing the bell? Or?
Well, I don't know the individuals who will be ringing for us. We've changed a little bit. We used to have a little competition with some celebrities, but we haven't specifically gone that route this year. We're just going for bell ringers and raising the $275,000, which is our objective. That's been the objective for a few years. We haven't reached it for some time.
Oh, really?
Unfortunately, we lost a large donor, which at one point put us up to about $300,000.
Oh, wow.
Last year we reached $264,000, which was about $20,000 more than the year before. So we're appreciative of that support, and we do need that money, and so we encourage and thank the community for looking after that. I'm also very appreciative of the fact that Parnell Townsley and his wife are our campaign chairs again this year. They were last year, and they worked very hard for us.
Some celebrities right there.
They're wonderful.
I so appreciate the dedication of them and what they have done to enhance our campaign, and I thank them for that.
How do you keep track of the money that's in the kettles once one group is done bell ringing for the day when they bring it to you? Because sometimes people think of the shady side of life, that maybe the bell ringers,
Well, what happens
shady side of life.
is that the money is picked up and secured and delivered to the bank immediately. And then the next morning, we have a crew of people that go to the bank. The money is brought out, and we count it and deposit it right at the bank. So our security is good that way, and we're appreciative of Heritage Bank this year that is actually providing for us free of charge a room to count in. So that's very
nice.
helpful.
That's wonderful.
In addition to the challenge of finding volunteers, is there a challenge in getting businesses to allow you to set up your bell ringers?
Well, we've been very fortunate. We probably could put out more kettles because of the kindness and willingness of businesses. But I think there is a saturation point, and we have about 35 out every day. So that's quite a number spread out across mostly Ocala, but we're in top of the world and out in Bellevue and out in Summerfield with one. So we've pretty well covered the area, I think, sufficiently to touch most of the people that are in the general traffic areas.
The grocery stores, usually, they are really receptive.
Yes, the Publix and Winn-Dixie particularly are very helpful to us. And that's a significant amount of money that comes through those areas.
How many Salvation Army locations are there in Marion County?
There are just the 5 facilities.
Okay.
We are looking at trying to do something in some of the areas outside the city, but financing again has been the problem there.
So, answer a question for me. We went to a convenience store one day, and a guy came up to us on a bicycle and asked for some change. And he said that he needed to get, how much did he need to get?
$8.
Something like that. Was that true? I mean, he needs $8 to sleep at the Salvation Army?
If you have $8, we'll take your $8. But this is a good place to air this. That's really a scam. Nobody pays at the Salvation Army if they don't have the money. Until our beds are full, we take people as long as they are able to come to us with a clean record. Not that if you've been in trouble with the law, you're still allowed, but there are some felonies and things that we can't take in because we have children in the facility.
Okay,
so
right.
so that presents some difficulties. But that's really been a scam. I tried to encounter some of these people one night when I was
really
telephoned at home.
Out of uniform? Were you out of uniform?
Yes. And they're just trying to raise money for themselves. So if anybody says that to you, you tell them you'll give the Salvation Army the $8.
Yeah, right.
And that they can go there and have a bed, because we're not really collecting very much money right now because the people living with us don't have anything but food stamps, a lot of them.
Wow. So, how many people are in beds right now? I mean, last night, let's say.
About 100 altogether.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We have about 40 men's beds, about 20 women, and that's because we do have less women who seem to be needing accommodation. Then we have some veterans in our facility, and then families make up the rest of it.
Oh, and veterans, how sad is that the veterans are homeless?
It's sad. We work with the Veterans Department, and they do cover off these people that come into a program. So not all veterans are in the program. They may be in a dorm bed, but we do have 10 beds, which are program beds for veterans.
Is there something we would find interesting about using the word Army? Why is it the Salvation Army?
Well, that happened London, England. William Booth. He was a Methodist minister. He left the Methodist ministry because of the fact that he couldn't seem to fit in the way that he really felt that he was going to be best used. And he started going out on the street corners. You know, London is very familiar with the street corner preachers, soapbox, that kind of thing. And so he started out that way. And he didn't want to start another denomination, but he wanted to tell people about Jesus Christ. And as he began to preach, he got invitations, along with his wife, who was also an excellent preacher. And all of a sudden, they had people that didn't want to go elsewhere. They wanted to be followers of William Booth.
Wow.
And the Salvation Army began in the East End of London and grew now to 126 countries of the world. And that's where it all began. He looked for a name. The military system was something he was familiar with. And someone said the volunteer army. His son said, I'm not a volunteer, I'm a full-time. And then that was stroked out and said salvation, and it became the Salvation Army.
Wonderful story.
So the only fighting we do is against sin and the presenting of the gospel.
Wow.
And you're doing something new this year. You were able to have an angel tree.
Yes, in the mall. We're setting up for a week. I don't have the dates with me here this morning, but it'll be in the mall for a week. And the names on the tree represent children who we have taken from the applications that have been filled out. They take a name off the tree, and they fill the wishes of the information on the card, and it will be brought back or taken to our Salvation Army Center.
Oh, how wonderful.
And then
that
distributed during the week of December 12th to 15th.
So they will have a Christmas.
Yes.
That's beautiful. So the way we can help is obviously when we see a kettle, then make a little donation, or a Krugerrand. I'm sure everybody's wanting me to ask this question. Anything like that Ocala has ever had? Any Krugerrands or gold watches, anything like that?
Rings in Ocala. I don't know whether we received any Krugerrands. When I was in St. Petersburg, I received 4 pieces of gold.
Wow.
At that time.
But we've had rings here in Ocala.
Yes,
huh?
diamond rings.
Wow.
And so we will, unless they've accidentally got in there, and we'll wait for a little bit in case somebody calls.
Has that ever happened?
Yes.
Really?
Some people have lost things in
I wonder.
the kettle.
I wonder if they gave it and they said, "Oh, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have given it."
Well, sometimes empty my pocket and a handful, and it goes in. They don't realize till later that they put something in they didn't mean to. But after we waited a bit of time, then we'll see if there's anything in there that is worthwhile, and then we'll take it to a jeweler and see what it's worth. The washers don't bring us much money. But,
the washers. So people would give you prank like slugs and things like that?
No, well, slugs, yeah. But again, I think it's the fact that they're just emptied their pocket and they don't.
Oh, you're giving them the benefit of the doubt. See, I'm thinking they're just nasty kids or nasty old people. It could be any age group. Well, Major George Patterson, thank you for coming in. Thank you for sharing what you do with us. And the bigger thank you is for what you do for humanity. I mean, you sure make a big difference. Is there a way anybody can contact you if they want to volunteer or help out in any way?
Yes, they should call 352-629-2004. And the receptionist there, or the person that answers the phone, if you tell them that you're interested in ringing the bell as a volunteer, or even as a paid, then they will put you in contact with the right person there at our office. And I'm very thankful for the volunteers that we have and the community that is so giving.
Yeah.
And the Salvation Army would not be able to do what it does without the kindness and generosity of the people of our county and local community.
Nicely said again. Major George Patterson, thank you for what you do for all of us and what you do with the Salvation Army. We will take a little break. Call us if you need that number repeated. We've got the business card here. We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. One more day of stumping before Election Day. In the Kentucky Senate race,
This bluegrass battle has been